soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public face, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barretons too. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up by the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup, and what they are doing today I can't take it, so I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship?
There seems to be no oversight from any engineer. The Public Works Ministry seems to have a Wild West situation. Contractors just come and do whatever they do. You notice they planted some lampposts, concrete lampposts. There's no alignment. They just dig holes in the ground, mud, and lay concrete poles. These poles are leaning in all directions. We even had a situation where one of the poles leaned and the wires connected, and there was a big blackout and fire in the...
All right, good night. It's, what is it, Thursday? And people say in Guyana, it's Boxing Day, Boxing Night, Boxing Day. It's time to do some boxing indeed, and we will be on for just about an hour. So you can share the link. You can tell your friends that we're on. We're ready to rock and roll. I want to see exactly what's on your mind. You know, what's bothering you. Don't tell me the big thing that's bothering you is a corrupt PPP regime in office. And, you know, the question is, how do you guys, how do all of us, how do you guys, especially those on the ground, plan on removing next elections the corrupt PPP regime? Are you preparing to vote? Do you have your voters' ID cards? Have you registered to vote? Or are you guys going to allow the PPP to pad the voters list? That is what they have been doing. That is what they have to be stopped. They have to, by every legal means necessary, stop. All right. Good night to all of you. Mr. Jeffers, Golly God, Francine. Francine. All right. Good to see Francine made it through the Christmas holiday. All of you. Yesterday, for those who celebrate Christmas, it was Christmas Day. I'm sure that all of you did well with your matching pajamas and so forth. It was a quiet day at my end. Kids had fun. And, you know, usually when you get up in age, the fun is transferred to the kids, and you have to tell them the story about Santa Claus and all manner of things with a smirk on your face, you know, kind of like remembering what your parents did to you. But my dad, at a very tender age, told all of us, all 20-something of us in the house, that there was no Santa Claus. Don't waste your time. Eat your food and get your bed. All right, good night again to all of you, and thank you for those who have already shared the link. What do you guys want us to talk about, or do you just want to leave everything up to me so that I make that decision? Before we move on, though, some of you celebrated your birth anniversary. Keith Beresford is one of them. And I take the time out to acknowledge all of the ardent supporters, those who are here every single night with us. And some nights, if they miss being on Straight Up, it means that they didn't pay their phone bill, the internet bill. It got cut off. I know it happened to a couple of you. I'm not going to call names. People like Troy Jefferson and those guys usually take internet from their neighbors. The same for, I think, Keith Beresford. Move up in life now. Happy birthday or belated birthday to Keith Beresford and to all those who have celebrated their birth anniversary. If you're going through some sort of trials and tribulations in your life, we all do that at times. Thank you. And so this occasion, those who have lost a loved one, our condolences to you. A supporter, a listener to this show, she doesn't miss a single night. That's Savitri Rose. She has lost her husband, and condolences to Savitri Rose. If you see her in the audience, let her know our prayers are with her and her family at this time. All right, so as we move on, good to see Deborah, Sherry, and Lynch and all of those people who take vacations. They run away, they leave us, and then they return. Like Lemon, run away, leave us, return. All right, what else is happening in your neck of the woods, and what exactly you want us to talk about this evening? It can be a long, long evening. Notice I'm drinking coffee, not coffee and not coffee and a big bottle of water. You drink coffee, water, coffee. No. And the proper thing to do as well as we get the live build up. I know a lot of people who weren't expecting me to be on, but I decided to put my boxing gloves on because, I have a big fist and I'm ready for that action, sting like the butterfly, whatever, right? And so, you've got to teach that low-class individual, that low-life individual, how to drink coffee. And you don't wipe your mouth like this. Especially on television, you just don't do that. Take a nice piece if you have to, and you just don't do that on television as well. Tell that to that low-class, low-life individual. All right, we're not here to contaminate the program in any way, shape, or form. Let's see here. I've never seen this person, but whoever. Martland, that's got to be a man's name. Martland saying, good night, Mark Benshop. You looks better than President Ali Owen. You think you look good night, Mark? But I don't know. What is it that Martland is trying to say? Good night to you, Martland. Mark, good night, Mark Benshop. You T-Y. Thank you looks better than President Ali Owen. Oh, what a day, what a night. All right. Thank you, Martland, whatever you're saying there. Thank you so much. Let's get ready. Let's get ready to rock and roll right here on 107.1 FM. Mary Figueroa, how are you? Francine Cruz is saying here, usual thing. Francine Cruz is saying, Annette Ferguson, I have you in my sight. Tighten up. I will cut you some slacks for now. Francine Cruz is cutting people some slacks for now. I'm sure, Francine. Good. Say hello to all of the your colleagues there at the nursing home, your roommates. And happy holidays to Francine and the crew. What else? Miss Bishop, if you're watching, good night to you. Miss Bishop, you know who you are. Good night. Thomasina Ben, how are you doing? And the folks in Linden. We'll talk a little bit about the folks in Linden shortly. But somebody just messaged me and like, we didn't know you were on. Well, nobody else was on, so I decided to rock and roll with you guys tonight. And if you share the link, we'll appreciate that. So, hey, let's begin with. Here's what I want to talk about. Well, earlier you saw Sean Anthony Ben. He's still the star. He stood up along with a few others. They stood up for the people of South and North Rumvelt. Unfortunately, and this is expected of the corrupt PPP regime and the racist PPP regime, they have done nothing to assist the people here in this area.
There seems to be no oversight from any engineer. The Public Works Ministry seems to have a Wild West situation. Contractors just come and do whatever they do. You notice they planted some lampposts, concrete lampposts. There's no alignment. They just dig holes in the ground, mud, and lay concrete.
And thus far, they have done nothing. They have not reached out to the people. There's no compensation. And it just shows how much they care, how much they pretend as though they care about the people. They just do not care. How often do you guys want us to keep reminding you guys that the PPP doesn't care? The PPP doesn't care. You know, look, let me just sound this warning to Francine Cruz and maybe others that this is not going to be business as usual. Once you're on this show, you're going to be do not go that route, Francine. Do not tell people on this show to mind their own business. I've been very tolerant with you for 2024. Not sure that we're going to transfer that into 2025. If you want us to be good friends, respectable on this show, that is, then you respect us on this show on 107.1 FM, and you respect members of the audience as well. The last time somebody told me to mind my own business. Okay, I'm not going to end there, but Francine, you have a warning. I know sometimes folks over there at the nursing home get a little bit out of hand, but I'm setting for them. My bumps is raising. I'm setting for them come 2025, January 1st. No tolerance. It's action. And no time for street corner gaff. You've got to mean business if you want to remove the PPP regime. You've got to. And you guys have to up your game on social media as well. You have to blog. You have to counter the PPP goons. They are not winning this race, but expect them to increase whatever little silliness that they do on social media. And you have to be prepared to counteract them. So I'm just giving you guys that little bit of warning for 2025. That's what we'll be doing here. We'll be going after the PPP regime. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no apologies. There's nothing for going after them. They've got to be removed from office. Got to be removed from office. All right. So what else is this that we can talk about? As we were saying, the folks out in South Rumvelt and North, they have not gotten any compensation, no respect, no nothing from the corrupt PPP regime. And every Thursday, I think last Thursday, this guy, we're not going to call anybody's name here, at least not tonight, but you know who we're talking about. They're at a press conference or so-called press conference every Thursday, this person. And so at the last press conference, he said, and you guys can tell us who this is. He said at his last press conference that heads were going to roll, so to speak. The people of North Rumvelt, I believe, he hinted at giving them some sort of compensation or whatever, because people lost a lot of things in South Rumvelt. Their businesses destroyed, all manner of things. They lost money for at least a week with the blackout and all things, and nothing to assist the people of South and North Rumvelt. Absolutely nothing. And shame on the PPP regime. I hope you guys in South, I hope you guys understand that the PPP regime doesn't care about any of you. And if you recognize this person who does a comedy show every Thursday at 2:00, if you recognize this person, please feel free to tell us who this person is on the screen. You can tell us. Jai Sri Khan, how are you? Jai Sri Khan, a Hindu and a Muslim name. So how do I greet you? Namaste, or both namaste and Assalamu alaikum. Lachman Aziz as well. How are you doing, Lachman? Good to see you. Thanks for all that you do on the ground as well. You are also a brave fighter. Lachmin Aziz. Lachmin Aziz, that is, she is a fighter. And I say this because, some folks come right here and they try to make it look as though the opposition, the PNCR, the PNCR should be just about one particular group, sorry, when in fact the PNCR, in my opinion, it has always been, probably still now, but it has always been that for everyone and inclusivity. And so individuals are not, again, I'm just saying what we're not going to be allowing for 2025. I'm not saying we have allowed it here on this platform. You do not call people the C word. You do not think that our Indian brothers and sisters are against us in the struggle. There are lots of our Indo-Guyanese brothers and sisters who are with us. And I say with us, we're all in the struggle together. So there will be no insult, absolutely no insult towards our Indian Guyanese brothers and sisters who are themselves in the struggle. Some of them, you don't know what they have to go through on a daily basis. Lachmin Aziz and her family, they're just one of those brave set of families out in Guyana. And Lachmin Aziz, whenever there's a PNCR function, there's a walkabout in the communities, wherever it is, whether she has to take a minibus and go all the way to Georgetown to protest in front of GCOM, she is there. So this platform is not going to be used to be disrespecting any ethnic group, none whatsoever, including Antidata and others. We will use our platform to protect our supporters, and supporters are from every ethnic group, every single ethnic group. This is not a pro-African Guyanese platform. I will repeat, this is not a pro-African Guyanese platform. We are promoting unity, real unity. If we want to see the backs of the PPP regime, there's got to be a unified approach to this. And one ethnic group cannot do the trick. One ethnic group cannot do it at all. And I am absolutely certain that Lachmin Aziz and others, our Indian brothers and sisters, when they are on this show or any other show, and they hear people use the C word, y'all know what the C word is, right? We do not use it here. Or when they hear people insult them, it is not going to happen on this program, because Lachmin Aziz, some of those people who love to use the C word and all manner of things, and to say, whatever derogatory terms, they are the ones who you do not see them, you do not know what they do, but we see folks like Lachmin Aziz, brave people like Lachmin Aziz, brave people like Rhonda Lane and others. And these are women. They are out there. How many of you know the trials and tribulations these women have gone through? Rhonda Lane, and I identify Lachmin Aziz as well. I've had the privilege of meeting Lachmin. When did we meet Lachmin? In the 2020 elections. Lachmin Aziz was out there campaigning. We all were out there campaigning on the ground in Guyana. And it was an absolute pleasure meeting you, Lachmin. And since that, you have gained a tremendous amount of respect from me, because you're out there despite of the attacks. They have firebombed your butchery, your butcher shop. They have done so many things, but yet you are here preparing to head into 2025 with all of us holding hands and confronting the corrupt PPP regime. And so tonight I salute you, my friend. I salute you and your family, your husband. I salute all of you guys, those who know, only if they know what you guys have to go through under the corrupt PPP regime. And there are thousands of others like Lachmin Aziz and Antidata and so forth are fed up of the PPP regime. So those who want to hold on to it, it's okay to be proud of who you are, African Guyanese, or don't get me wrong, it's okay to be proud. But from a political standpoint, there's got to be a unified approach in unseating the PPP regime. There's got to be. One ethnic group cannot do the trick at all. If anybody thinks that one ethnic group can do the trick, or when a government gets in, a party gets into government, that they should focus on one ethnic group. One ethnic group. It's not going to happen in Guyana if Guyana is to move forward. And the next government has to be a government, just like under the coalition, the attention was focused on all Guyanese. Not like under this corrupt PPP regime. They're only focusing on people they can control, people they can dominate, and people they can corrupt. That's not how you run a country. And so thank you so much, Lachmin Aziz, for all that you have done and all that you continue to do. You and your husband and your entire family. All right, so what else is happening in your neck of the woods? Let's take you guys to this here. I'm not sure how many of you guys know that according to Village Voice, that is, the Village Voice newspaper, I hope for 2025 you guys will support the Village Voice newspaper in whatever way you can. And support doesn't necessarily have to be financial support, because we do know, and I want to make it pellucid right here on 107.1 FM, we do understand the trials and tribulations in everybody's life. We do understand how hard you work. And on this platform, when we say to support somebody, we simply means in whatever and by whatever means, whether it's a word of prayer, whether it's sharing the link or whatever. You are not obligated in any way, shape, or form. We at 107.1 FM, we bring you programs, and the programs that we bring you is one, to open your eyes on what's happening in the country and so forth. And we do not want you to feel as though watching this show that we will jump out of some blue to burden you with any sort of weight or anything. You watch the show, it's free of charge to watch the show. It's like an open theater. You come in, you watch, and the final decision is up to you whether you want to support or not. Having said that, as we get into this here, the Village Voice newspaper is reporting this here. And before we read this here, for 2025, I hope and I ask of you, all of you who are watching this show tonight, to share the Village Voice page, to share the Village Voice newspaper, share it with your friends, click on their page so that you can get regular updates on what's happening in Guyana. And so those of you who have other means in supporting the Village Voice, you can also do that, whatever suits you. So it says in the Village Voice, today at noon, Irfan Ali received a telephone call from Rita Joe Lewis. She is the chair of Exim Bank, to inform Ali that they just got a loan for the gas to energy project valued at over 526 million. And the 526 million they're talking about is in US currency, $526 million. Now, if Wayne Caesar was on with us, and hopefully Wayne would, if he's on this Saturday, be able to discuss this a little further. Guyana is supposed to be an oil-rich country, billions upon billions of dollars, with a budget, last budget of over $1 trillion. Over $1 trillion. This next budget coming up, I'm sure they're going to place it at probably close to $2 trillion, just to pomposette themselves. But if you have the fastest growing economy is going around with a begging bowl, a begging basket, a collection basket, begging around the world for money, for donation, you're begging for loans, you're kissing boots and all manner of things for loans upon loans upon loans. I don't know what's going to happen. What's going to happen to all the loans that you're begging for? What are they doing with all this money? Well, we all know what's going on. They are basically begging and borrowing money, and when they finish borrowing money, they will bankrupt the entire country, because it is you, the supporters. You Goligard and all of you guys who pay taxes in Guyana. Not Francine, because Francine doesn't pay taxes in Guyana. But those who pay taxes in Guyana, right, Miss October and others, those are the people who are going to be left with the burden. Left with a burden because of corruption, massive corruption by the corrupt PPP regime. Now you tell me they are borrowing money, but yet Guyana is supposed to be the fastest growing economy. And some of you in the audience can tell me, why you think they're borrowing all this money? And do you think the people of Guyana will benefit? Or 5, 10 years down the line, guess what's going to happen? They are digging a bigger hole for Guyanese, because when you finish paying back these loans, I don't know what's going to left for the people of Guyana. And this is dangerous. This is nothing good. It might be good for the banks because the banks want to give loans. And when they give loans, there's certain things attached to it, certain commitments and all these sort of things. And after the bank, and now I don't blame the bank. I don't blame the bank at all, because that's what banks are there for, to assess. And if they have to give a loan, if they catch a kunumunu, as in the case of this installed PPP regime, they will give them that loan. And guess what? If they play that they don't want to repay the loans, the money is going to be coming out from the oil money. That's just what it is. And so they are guaranteed being paid back. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So that's what's happening. And so tomorrow at the Gav Shop, if you want to call it a press conference, nobody calls it a press conference. This thing will be praising. It's all good. Oh, wow. They got a loan, and he's going to curse the opposition. He's going to curse the AFC. He's going to curse the PNC. He's going to curse everyone. Because, you know, when jackass bray, what happens? They don't care who is around, because you guys know the song when jackass bray. They have this song at the end, and then they spit up all over the place. Well, that is what he's going to be doing tomorrow. Take a look. Exactly. You know, at the end, that is what you see there, the whatever it is. That is what that thing will be doing at his whatever pronoun it is press conference tomorrow, so-called press conference, praising the loan. The loan is nothing big. It's nothing huge. They go bow. They went to Saudi Arabia. They went all over. They are borrowing money. The fastest growing economy in the world, they are borrowing money. This is suspicious, because they know when they borrow money, it's massive corruption that's going on there. And nobody benefits. The ordinary folks in Guyana do not benefit, regardless of their ethnicity, regardless of their religion, regardless of the political party that they support. Regardless, the ordinary folks do not benefit. Go to Port Morant. You ask those folks who are living at Port Morant, and you ask those folks at Port Morant Hospital. I'm sorry, Port Morant Market. That's not how we pronounce Port Morant, though. You say Port Morant, Port Morant. You go Port Morant Market, right? So you go to Port Morant Market this Saturday, this Friday, tomorrow, Sunday, and you ask the people, how is business? They're going to tell you, business sucks. It's not good. Even though Tanti Moral Jactier walks around at some market, shaking hands, taking photographs, pretending that he loves the people, didn't even buy a sweetie from them. Cost of living is sky high. As the lady in the video said, I. That's how high it is. I. And as Tony Hack, our reporter on the ground in Guyana, good night to Tony, Salaam alaikum. Tony Hack is saying, we were selling in Regent Street, and the people were bawling sales was bad. So what fastest growing economy them Crass is talking about? That is so true, Tony Hack. And Tony Hack, I'll take this time out also to salute you. You have been watching, you have been commenting, you're a fighter, you're a soldier on Facebook. Soldier. And I give you the soldier promotion. We promote you right here on Facebook for the fight. You've got to increase the fight for 2025. Thank you for your bravery. There are some times we disagree, but at least respectfully. And that's what I admire about people. We can disagree. We can disagree. We can disagree, but just do not get disrespectful. So that's why we're keeping an eye on Francine Cruz for 2025. Just do not get disrespectful, because you'll probably end up for a couple of days in straight up jail, just like that AFC guy Atwell. All right, so what else it is that we can talk about? That loan, they're gonna say all sort of things about the loan. Remember, what is it? Imagine, folks, just imagine. They're giving this away. This is what we used to spend on the Bornham government. This is what we used to spend on the Bornham government. And this was enough money back then. Enough money back then. How many of you guys remember what 50 cents? What is it they call it? 2 bob. You go to the store with 2 bob. 2 bobs. We run across the street, my little sister and I, to a store called Auntie May's store. I think that's what it's called. 2 bobs, Brennan Thompson. 2 bobs, Ann Lewis. 2 bobs, Mary and Debbie Pitt and others. 2 bobs could buy a whole lot of food. And speaking of food, Leon, how are you doing? 2 bobs could buy a heck of a lot of food back then. And then you have a bob, and then you have 5 cents, and then you have a cent, and you have 10 cents. Maybe that's where that Trinidadian guys got the song 10 5 cent dollar, 10 5 cent dollar. Back in the days, guys, you guys are old enough. I know they got some old people here. I know you guys are old enough to remember this. This was nice time. Now they're giving you $100,000 and trying to tell you that is nice time. You know how many people finish up that $100,000 and they don't know where it gone? But back then, all this money, he could have buy Bora, could have buy Belanger, you could have get a pint of rice or 2 pints of rice, you could have get a piece of beef, you could have get a chicken foot, you could have get sweeties after, and all manner of things with this money. This money that you're seeing on the screen there is what you call generational wealth. Enough people got wealthy as a result of what you see on the screen there. But these pakus in the PPP regime, want to tell you that they are going to give you your money, 500 or less than $500 of your money, and insult you to tell you that you can build generational wealth on that, when they themselves couldn't do it. Irfan Ali and Jack Deo and all these people, Priya Manik-Chan and all of them, they are depending on taxpayers' monies. It is the taxpayers' monies that got them so wealthy. You think Irfan Ali, let's be realistic, guys. If Irfan Ali was residing in the US, I am almost certain when I walk into the bank, just to look around, when I walk into the bank, guess who will be opening the door with his nice little security uniform? Irfan Ali. What other job Irfan Ali would have been able to do? What other job? I'm not insulting the guys who work at the banks and so forth. It's decent money. But Irfan Ali is not qualified for anything else. Jack Dare probably would have been working at a garment factory, making underwear, designing all sorts of strings, B strings, A strings, whatever it is, H strings, all these garment factory. But these are the pakus who pretend to be running a country. They cannot run a country, guys. They are wrecking the country inside out. Take a look at what's going on with GPL. With no oil money, look at how effective, for the most part, GPL was under the coalition government. With no oil money, thanks to the coalition government. With no oil money, look at the quality of water. Some people say water, right? Guyana, they say water. But in America, they say water. Look at the quality of water. GWI under the coalition with no oil money. I hope the coalition could use that, or the opposition PNCR, they can use that as a campaign to talk about the good days under the coalition government after 23 horrible years of the PPP regime. Talk about the good things without the oil wealth. And now they have the oil wealth. These Pakus in the PPP have borrowed more money in less than 2 years than the entire 5 years, 3 years of the coalition. 2 years they had to battle the demons. But for Irfan to insult the people by telling them about get $500 or $470 and it's generational wealth. Let me take $500 and give it to Curtis Lachman and tell Curtis that let him go generational wealth at 470 US. Let me give Debbie Pitt 470 US and tell her go generational wealth. What an insult to the people of Guyana. An insult to all of the people of Guyana. Them boys done spend out all the money in Port Morant, Philippines, some who got it, Alness, some who got it, because don't be fooled. Soon you will be hearing about the discrimination of that same oil money, that 100,000 distribution. You will soon be hearing about that. Discrimination, racial discrimination, and political discrimination. So if they know someone is a PNCR supporter, they are going to ensure that that person is not on the list. And the only thing you because maybe it's the holiday season, you're not hearing much cry about the situation right now. But after the holidays, be careful. You are going to hear a heck of a lot of talks, allegations about serious racism in the distribution of that generational wealth. Generational wealth, lots of discrimination, political discrimination, and racial discrimination. Y'all didn't hear nothing yet. It's going to be worse than the pink slip. You know that thousands of pink slip, they promised to go back to people, thousands of people, they promised to go back and take care of them. They never did. It was a fraud. This here is 10 times worse than the COVID cash grant. 10 times worse than the COVID cash grant. So don't be fooled by that. There's no success story there at all. And meanwhile, this thing is walking around taking photographs, campaigning. Here's one of the photos out campaigning. I don't know what the hand movement is all about. Maybe we got to hurry up and send in some lipsticks and wigs, because the hand movement is a gesture that he's out of those items and whatever, out campaigning, he and his good friend Arafat. Everywhere he and Arafat. Arafat is like Barrett Jagdeo's purse. Don't leave home without it, right? I don't know, what's his position? Anybody knows what is Arafat's position? Does he work with the corrupt PPP regime? Is he getting paid with taxpayers' money? Is there a position? I don't know, but because I see him all over. If he's not with Irfan, he's with Jack Deo. If he knows how to play the game between two men. I mean, I don't mean it in that sense, but it's pretty obvious that he knows how to play the game between two men. Arafat, what's his position? What is his role? And as a result of his closeness to Jack Deo and Irfan Ali, is this guy Arafat given sweetheart deals and contracts and so forth? We'd like to know. Arafat, if you're watching, good night. Hope all is well, but good night. We'd like to know, why are you between these two men? Everywhere they go, Arafat is there. But the issue is not Arafat for now. It's the hand gesture, right? It's like he saw that guy. He saw that guy, and the way in which he said hello, it's like, anyways, guys, let's remain focused. It's a boxing night, as they say in Guyana. And so as he made the rounds, look at the difference. Look at the difference. You see, he was scared. I don't know what this brother is saying there with that hand thing, like, yo, what's up? Right? And Jack Dio, obviously Jack Dio doesn't want to take a picture with this indigenous brother. Jack Dio was afraid. Notice the difference, guys. And this is what I'm trying to say to you. Notice the difference, how he greeted this guy compared to how he's taking a photograph with this guy. Notice the difference, guys. You've got to be able to check these things out. He was very uncomfortable, even though he has his hand around the guy's waist and so forth. The guy didn't want to hug him. He looked as though he grabbed the guy, and then he became very uncomfortable because the guy showed some sign. I don't know what that sign is, man. Somebody, what's that sign? If you in the audience know, let us know. Let us know. And then he moved on, and then he went to this other guy. I almost thought it was Cartel, right? Cartel. And look at his face again. He's not comfortable shaking Cartel's big brother's hand. He's not comfortable. The guy behind him in the glasses with that Santa Claus looking shirt is a convict in Guyana. A convict, Jason Abdullah, a convict. And he also is caught between two men, Bara Jagdeo and Irfan Ali. But we take a look at the picture. You guys, you see, are you guys seeing what I am seeing? That he's not comfortable at all taking photographs with these guys. He's not comfortable. Take a look. Now he's not comfortable. This other big strapping guy, again, Jagdeo is not comfortable. This is the first time that I see him next to a big strapping guy, holding the guy's hands, but he's not comfortable. Why? Why isn't he comfortable in these photographs? Look again. He is not comfortable at all. I mean, look, I'm not picking on the guy, but I mean, am I correct? You guys feel free to tell me. We can look at his facial expression. We can look at the smile. He is not comfortable at all. And as Debbie Pitt says, it's fake smile. You guys already reading between the lines. It's fake smile. He just goes out there. He doesn't want to take photographs with these guys for nothing at all. And look I hope these guys who probably were forced to take a photo with him I hope they realize that this guy, Jack Deere, doesn't like them, doesn't want to be in any photograph with them, period. His facial expression says it all. Bantu King, you're smarter than we all thought, man. Bantu King is saying, good night to Bantu King. Bantu King is saying, plastic smile. Plastic smile. Plastic smile. Miss Hillman Victorino, plastic smile. That is what it is. But there's another one that I want to show you guys. And the reason why I'm showing you guys is to let you guys know that the PPP is fake. Their leaders, they're just a bunch of fake. There's no sincerity in what they do. I mean, when you compare that with what Chetty Jagan, when Chetty Jagan was alive and he greeted the people, you could see that connection. Connection was there. But we know Chetty was different from these pickpockets that's in the PVP right now. Jack Dale is a pickpocketer. Irfan Ali is a pickpocket. But Chetty was, regardless of how some of you may think about Chetty, when he greeted the people, you could see that he greeted the people. Of course, you can't talk about Bornham. Bornham, be high up here, down there, wagainan, move around. There can only be one Bornham, mind you, right? One Bornham. And you need leaders who can meet the people, greet the people, talk to the people. And when you see leaders talk to people, you know they're leaders. These Pakus here, these Pakus are not leaders. Jack Deva, Irfan, and these Kunumunus in the PPP. Take a look at this other photograph. I just want you guys to take a look at this. Okay, you hold your hand, bend your hand, smile. Look, the lady in the green. You could tell she from Congress Place, right? The lady in green say, "You think you could fool we?" No, 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 no. You can't fool we. The lady that is holding on to both his hands. Look, he's holding on. He's holding on. You know, he's trying to trick her there. Don't fall for it, girl. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. He's tricking you there. Tricking you, making you believe something otherwise. Don't fall for it. Okay. But let's move away from this guy. Let's move away from him for a while. Let's move away from him, or whatever pronoun. Let's move away for now, and let's head over to another guy. And I want you guys to take a look at this, and let me get your opinion. Let me know what you think. Take a look. 1, 2, 3. That's the guy who was recently confirmed as Commissioner of Police. Take a look. Sitting on Santa's lap. Very close to Santa. But what do you think about this photograph? Hicken sitting on. And who you think that Santa is? I know who that Santa is. I can tell you guys who that person is. But I want to see if you guys are thinking. Hicken, Clifton Hicken, who is now the Commissioner of Police. He was acting, but he has been confirmed. And we've heard a little bit of noise from the opposition. That's what it is, noise. But what do you guys think this is, though? Apart from the red shot. Sitting on Santa's lap. Do you guys know that the PPP forced Mark Phillips to dress up in a Santa suit? How many of you guys know or realize that that's actually Mark Phillips? How many of you guys realize that Santa may very well be Mark Phillips? How many of you guys believe that it is Mark Phillips? So Mark Phillips, apparently, they put him in a Santa suit to sit down. Oh, yes, Mr. Thompson. Possibly, very well, be Mark Phillips. Everything looks like Mark Phillips. Take a look at the nose. Take a look at the eyes. You can see the forehead, or the forehead, as they say. Guyana, we say forehead. Take a look. How many of you guys believe that this is Mark Phillips? And so this guy, the Commissioner of Police, is sitting on Mark Phillips' lap right after he was confirmed. A few days after he was confirmed as Commissioner of Police, he realized that it's time for payback. So he's going to get very cozy with these guys in the PPP, and publicly, maybe not in public's eyes, the coziness happened, but publicly, this is what they're not going to be afraid or ashamed to love up each other publicly. And this here, yes, you want to show that it's a season, it's a time to give up and free up, but you don't give up and free up like this. I mean, you've got to have some sort of class, some sort of dignity. You gone sitting on Santa's lap, said to be Mark Phillips' lap. And this is what they have done, Mark Phillips. This is what Mark Phillips is reduced to. And nothing. Sit and allow, well, not just kids, well, anyways, big kids, big babies to sit on his lap. I don't know how long this went on for, but it is what it is, guys. And I really do mean it. It is what it is. I ain't sitting on no Santa lap. I am sitting on no Santa lap, and Santa is sitting on my lap. But I guess everything goes for the ride these days. And these are the people who go in, the commissioner of police, they raid baroom bars, and they charge those girls who give lap dance. But yet they're sitting there taking free lap dance from this person who is said to be Mark Phillips. Free lap dance. Anyways, what else is happening in your neck of the woods that you want us to talk about as we're not rushing off. But getting back to this one here, I like the lady at the back in that green dress with your black plastic bag. Black plastic bag, green dress, you could tell. She read right through him that he Pakuin himself. That's what he's doing. And doesn't this guy have any African Guyanese security other than the water boy Jason Abdullah, that convict Jason Abdullah? You know, we'll talk a little bit about the convicts, the PPP convicts, Jason Abdullah and Kwame McCoy and them, because they are convicts, and we will talk about them more in 2025. Those convicts and what they do on social media, but they're not effective. They're not effective at all, those convicts. All right, what else that we can talk about? Look, let's talk about something positive. Yesterday was Christmas Day, as our Rasta brethren and sisterin would say. And for those who celebrate Christmas, it was Christmas Day. This is what happened in the town of Linden. And speaking of the township of Linden, I hope those workers have been paid. And that PPP lackey, that lapcloth individual who is disguised as the town clerk, that 4 feet 5 inches guy, 4 feet 5, whatever his name is, can't even, some whatever, gospel or whatever. I hope those workers have been paid. And it's a shame that the PPP is playing that sort of low class politics. But let us take something a little more positive for tonight, which is Mr. Sharma will explain briefly what transpired, and hopefully it can motivate some of you, and I'll explain what you guys can do to assist your communities, your villages. With the old computer, whatever you have, you could send it on your own. Send it to some young person back in Guyana. Whether it's a laptop, whether it's a desktop, whatever it is, send it. Don't let it just send and say they want sneakers and this. Send a computer, send a laptop, send a desktop, send a tablet, whatever, whether it's brand new or used. Listen to Sharma Solomon and Shrimpy.
My name is Corey Allen, but not you as DJ Shrimpy. Coming out of Long Island, and here in my hometown of Linden. And this is our mayor of Linden. I'm going to Sharma. Okay, going to Sharma. All right. Now, yes, my Christmas to you, coming. Now, what I have here is some wonderful presents that I'm the only person who was elected to deliver, right? I'm the sender. No. Mark Bishop is the sender. I'm the deliverer, right? And these are 5 laptops here and a tablet. This is a tablet you get from the pharmacy. It's a tablet, just like a computer, right? And Mr. Sharma, I'm going to present this to you. And we have Mr. Mark Bishop Foundation. And you will know what to do with this. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Allen. You're always welcome in this town. You're a feature in terms of what you've done to Linden. So before anything else, let me just say thank you for coming home and bringing your presence, not only these presents, but your presence in Linden. Merry Christmas to you and family and to everyone. And to all those who are listening tonight, Merry Christmas to each and every one of you and your families. And let me just once again say that Mark and his foundation over the past several weeks. They were looking for someone to bring these very precious devices home. I'm grateful that you took this time to bring it. Everybody was talking below, but only Shrimpy say below. I guess it's the size, right? But let me just say on behalf of the people of Linden, once again, we are so grateful to the Benchcap Foundation. Mark, 13 years ago, assisted while we were in North America. We had a very good initiative that while we were exploring to bring some relief to the people of Linden during the crisis, it was more than just the issue of electricity. It was about also finding support for a very depressed and neglected community. And in that, we actually designed a program or a project called Experiment to Discover Hope. In that project, Mark, through his foundation, along with several others, including some doctors and some lawyers, had given to us scholarships and devices, along with medical supplies, sewing machines, books, and a whole lot of things. And I know that once we do make use of these 5, along with the tablet, we will have that. But let me just quickly say what the Experiment to Discover Hope would have done. Out of that initiative, we have so far been able to recognize 3 doctors out of the scholarships given, 3 lawyers out of the scholarship given, and about 5 teachers out of the scholarships given. So the initiative then would have produced in this community some very recognized young ladies. I can even call Dr. Natalia Jordan, who came out of that particular exercise. And I'm certain that those who have given these laptops will see with their continued contributions, I'm putting them on the spot, not just these laptops, but continued contribution. And the way Mark is asking for this, based on the foundation continuous support, is that we recognize some young people who will be able to not only use these devices, but to be part of their community or any group or organized organization that they're part of, that they can work with other young people to help them to get them up to that same level of support. So this is just the first support, and I want to say thanks to Mr. Benchcap, thanks to Ms. Brenda Casey, and all the others who would have made their significant contribution. Mark saying once these things come true, others going to come through with some more help. So I'm certain that this is just the beginning, and we look forward to so much. As I mentioned, a few of those helped the last time produce doctors, lawyers, and teachers. And I'm certain we will see wonderful people, including people in the petroleum industry. This will be one of the Alsop sisters. So I am grateful on behalf of not only the people of Linden, but on behalf of all those who recognize where support must be given in Guyana, to those who are in need of this support. We want to say thank you to the Benchcap Foundation. Thank you to all those who have given, and we look forward, Mr. Allen, for your support also, and all that you have done for us. All right. Before we go, we have a young lady here, one of the persons who saw the program, and I spoke with her and her mom, and we're going to ensure that not only her, because one of the things that Mr. Benchcap asked about, the last Experiment to Discover Hope initiative, focus on young people within the Fifth Farm and CXC about to do their CXC Fifth Farm program. He's now asking that we go as small as grade 6. So we've identified a few young people. And this young lady, Ms. Keziah, she was one of the top performers in 2023 of top 10 in the grade 6 exams, and she actually topped the Queen's College secondary school, Queen's College, sorry, and that so far she's been doing quite well. In fact, she did excellent in this year in her exams, and she's now part of a program with Miss Candice McAllister, and it is in that program that we hope to ensure that we can have her get the sort of support to help other young people. So we'll make the first contribution of one of these laptops to Ms. Keziah, and we have several other persons who we've identified. through the recommendations made by Mr. Benchmark, so that we can ensure that they don't only receive this, but they are also able to get more support, that they can participate in the wider community initiative of helping other young people. So I'll make this donation here now on behalf of the project Experiment to Discover Hope, and on behalf of the Benchmark Foundation, who is being supported by Ms. Casey and so many others, to Ms. Kizai.
Good. Yeah.
Well, my name is Kizaya Elvis, and I attend the Queen's College, and I'm in the second form. And I would just like to thank Mr. Mark for his contribution towards me, and I would like to thank him for this computer because it will not only benefit me academically, but communication-wise. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that's basically the first computer that has been donated to Kizia. Elvis, we wish her all the best, and lots more we want to do. And of course, those were the computers that were sent down, as you saw earlier in the month. Emma was assisting in sending it down. And I want to say thanks to Miss Brenda Casey. I want to say thanks to Wayne Caesar as well. And we have lots more that we will be doing. Also thanks to Derek Arjun. But let me just say that part of the Ben Job Foundation, as we prepare to close off for tonight, is we want to ensure that every child in every village that we are familiar with, every child will have access to a computer. So if you have a used computer and you want to send it down, put it in your barrel. If you're sending a barrel, ensure that your family members, the youngsters, get a computer. It is very important. Internet access is very important. Not to just watch a dancehall music or chutney or reggae or whatever on YouTube. Nothing against those things, but ensure that they have the tools to study. You've got to. Because if my child at 6 years old can do all sorts of things on the computer, then every child in Guyana should have access to a computer and have access to internet. I believe that's what the coalition David Granger was doing, access to internet. Anywhere a child goes or anywhere someone goes, they should be able to have access to the internet. And they did that without oil money. And so through the Ben Job Foundation, and we are teaming up with folks like the mayor of Linden, an organization in Linden and other parts of Guyana, to ensure that every child has access to a computer. Every child has access to a computer. We have some other plans in place, but every child should have access to a computer. And for those of you, if you have a used computer, I'm not talking about brokatoko, right? Something that can last for another 2-3 years or whatever. You know, so many young people in Guyana would love to own a computer. Let's make it happen, guys. So even if you don't want to send it directly or whatever, I noticed Bantu King says he has some computers. Feel free to inbox me. And a laptop is $120. They have some reasonable laptop. Because the government, you cannot depend on them to do it. The last time they had a one laptop per family program, it was corruption, massive corruption. Imagine they put that convict Kwame McCoy to lead that project. Just imagine, right? But what we are doing here is a continuation of what we have done at the Ben Job Foundation, where many years we have trained young people, middle-aged and not so young people, how to use the computer. Hundreds, probably thousands of young people throughout Guyana, we have assisted through the Ben Job Foundation, free computer courses, whether in Georgetown, whether in Linden, whether in Buxton, whether in Mycone, whether in New Amsterdam, whether at Kildonan, whether at Albion, whether at Leeds Village, Corriverton, and so forth. We have been throughout the country. And for 2025, that's exactly what I'd like to continue for us at the Ben Job foundation to continue doing. Bantu King is asking, what's the contact or the inbox information? Folks can reach me at 917. If you're serious, by the way, 917-714-1082. But those of you who can send it directly to Guyana to your loved ones or somebody in the village, sponsor a child in the village for Common Entrance or CXC, you can do it yourselves. Because if I have to collect from everybody and then have to pay to ship it to Guyana, all manner of things, y'all see with me too. So if you could send it directly to, but make sure that whoever you're sending it to gets it. That's the sort of transparency we want. Send it. Make sure the recipients get it. The intended recipients, make sure that they get it. So computers and books, that is us at the Benchap Foundation for 2025. So if you have a used laptop, a used desktop, you want to send it to Guyana. If you want us to pick up a couple from wherever you are, just call me and we'll get it done. All right, so I've got to go. My name is Mark Benchap. We'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, and right here on 107.1 FM. Thank you all so much, and to Sharma Solomon and to Shrimpy and so forth. Let me say something about Shrimpy quickly. Shrimpy took stuff out of his suitcase to take those computers to Guyana. Not too many people will do that. I repeat, not too many people will do that. But especially during the course of the holiday weekend, right? What is it? Christmas time. Look at Shrimpy standing right there. So I want you guys to say salute to Shrimpy and thank you to Shrimpy as well. Because had it not been for Shrimpy, possibly the computers would not have been there in time for Christmas. So thank you so much, Shrimpy. Thank you to Mayor of Linden, Sharma Solomon as well. And thanks that young lady, that young woman that collected our computer. We wish her all the best. And those who have made it possible, Brenda Casey, Wayne Caesar, and so forth, and Derek Arjun, Emma, Ryan, and Jonathan Benchap, thank you all so much. We can do it, guys. We can make it happen. It takes a village to raise a child. And not because your child can afford, or you can afford to give your child something, means that we should turn a blind eye on the other kids within the village. It takes a village. My name is Mark Benchap. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. Let us keep hope alive. Again, let us keep hope alive. Thank you, and God bless all of you. So long.
We have so far been able to recognize 3 doctors out of the scholarships given, 3 lawyers out of the scholarship given, and about 5 teachers out of the scholarships given. So the initiative then would have produced in this community some very recognized young ladies. I can even call Dr. Natalia Jordan, who came out of that particular exercise. And I'm certain that those who have given these laptops will see with their continued contributions, I'm putting them on the spot, not just these laptops, but continued contribution. And the way Mark is asking for this, based on the foundation continuous support, is that we recognize some young people who will be able to not only use these devices, but to be part of their community or any group or organization that they're part of, that they can work with other young people to help them to get them up to that same level of support. So this is just the first support, and I want to say thanks to Mr. Benchcop, thanks to Ms. Brenda Casey, and all the others who would have made their significant contribution. Mark saying once these things come true, others gonna come through with some more help. So I'm certain that this is just the beginning, and we look forward to so much. As I mentioned, a few of those helped the last time produce doctors, lawyers, and teachers. And I'm certain we will see wonderful people, including people in the petroleum industry, this would be one of the Alsop sisters. So I am grateful on behalf of not only the people of Linden, but on behalf of all those who recognize where support must be given in Guyana to those who are in need of this support. We want to say thank you to the Benchcraft Foundation. Thank you to all those who have given, and we look forward, Mr. Allen, to your support also and all that you have done for us. All right. Before we go, we have a young lady here, one of the persons who saw the program, and I spoke with her and her mom, and we're going to ensure that not only her, because one of the things that Mr. Benchcraft asked about, the last experimental Discover Hope initiative focus on young people within the fifth farm and CXC about to do their CXC food farm program. He's now asking that we go as small as grade 6. So we've identified a few young people. And this young lady, Ms. Keziah, she was one of the top performers in 2023 of top 10 in the grade 6 exams, and she actually topped the Queen's College secondary school, Queen's College, sorry, and that so far she's been doing quite well. In fact, she did excellent in this year in her exams, and she's now part of a program with Miss Candice McAllister, and it is in that program that we hope to ensure that we can have her get the service support to help other young people. So we'll make the first contribution of one of these laptops to Ms. Keziah, and we have several other persons who we've identified through the recommendations made by Mr. Benchcraft, so that we can ensure that they don't only receive this, but they are also able to get more support, that they can participate in the wider community initiative of helping other young people. So I'll make this donation here now on behalf of the project Experimental Discover Hope, and on behalf of the Benchcraft Foundation, who is being supported by Ms. Casey and so many others, to Ms. Keziah.
Good. Yeah. 100.
Well, my name is Keziah Elvis, and I attend the Queen's College, and I'm in the second form. And I would just like to thank Mr. Mark for his contribution towards me, and I would like to thank him for this computer because it will not only benefit me academically, but communication-wise. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you see, this is what we talk about, community spirit, that each one teach one, everyone can help one. And that is how this spirit of Linden grows. Let us not forget, I always see the bantering between Mark and Mr. Linden. Mark always proudly say he's a Lindener. And we know once you have that blood and that spirit of Linden, that is what we know to do. In fact, this is the genesis of what the experimental Discover Hope came out from. Because we recognize there is so much neglect and so much forgottenness, if such a word exists, in our community, that we recognize how important it is to come together, to support each other, and where when that support is given, we can see beautiful and wonderful things. We are so proud of the last batch of persons who came out. They're now parents, they now have their own homes, they're now doctors, they're now in the petroleum field. I mean, you see them today, they're married, they're so proud to be given this fair opportunity. And I'm telling you, this will ensure, just like Keziah said, it will help her to go a long and far way. So thanks again, Mr. Benchcraft. Thanks to your foundation. And we're putting you on the spot. You have to continue giving much more support to this initiative. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much.
Yes, my name is Chastity Caldata, Francis Vietnam. And since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.